I'm Lara Williams with the Green Team Real Estate in Fort Collins, Colorado, and we're here today at 404 Park Street in Old Town Fort Collins. Over the next several months, we're going to be tracking the construction of this unique and highly energy efficient home being built by Sovic Design Builders. Now let's go meet Dennis Sovic. He'll give us an overview of the project. Then we'll take a quick tour of the neighborhood so that you can see all the great things that are within biking distance of this home. So Dennis, it looks like this is a great location with a lot of sunlight on the roof here. Can you tell us a little bit about this particular site?
Yeah, it's a wonderful location. The long part of the house has got very good sunny exposure, and so we're able to utilize a little bit of passive solar, a little sun tempering on this house, and we've designed the house to have a roof pitch at 1212 that'll give itself a good opportunity to have active solar installations put on.
So it looks like you've got something going on the second floor there. Is that a deck you're putting in?
Yeah, it's actually a little feature that we put in a lot of houses. It's we call it a margarita deck. It's a small deck on the upper story, someplace to go outside and just kind of chill a little bit, maybe have a drink, and in this case, like sit in the sun and get some fresh air.
Now, I think I remember from looking at your floor plan that is not off of a master bedroom, but in fact kind of a common area?
Yeah, as you, in the upper part of the house that you go up the stairs and you go into kind of a den, kind of a multi-purpose room, and there's bedrooms off of each side of that den, and so the margarita deck is right off that den.
Great, so the whole family can enjoy it.
Right.
Nice. Dennis, I think one of the things that I liked best about this floor plan and site that you have here is that I don't see any driveway going up in the front or any garage in the front yard.
Right, as what is common in Old Town is to have the garages accessed off the back, which this one will have with alley access. And so in the front, we've got a traditional old front porch where you can kind of sit and end of the evening and just kind of be a transition to enter the house. So we did it with kind of an Old Town flavor of a covered roof, and we'll be cladding that with recycled decking material.
I was really charmed when I looked at this floor plan for the first time, and when I actually saw this house built on at another location not too far from here. It seemed like you paid attention to some older style craftsman building techniques. Can you give us some examples of what you did?
Well, there's a number of different details that we kind of pick up on that kind of celebrate the traditions that were done before. For example, the exposed rafters, exposed rake detail you see up on along the roof edge. That is kind of shows how they built before, and it's a small detail, but it really gives a lot of flavor to the finished house.
Dennis, you've been doing green building for a long time, and I know that you've developed some very progressive building techniques, and there's a lot of things that you put into this house that are energy efficient, water conserving. Can you tell us some of those?
Well, we've kind of taken an attitude when we do a design and a build of incorporating as much as kind of modern house science in terms of building materials and techniques. It started out with an ICF foundation, insulated concrete foundation, orientated strand board, reusing recycled materials. A lot of them are fairly conventional and mainstream, but when you incorporate it all together, you don't miss anything, like low-E windows and just kind of construction techniques in order to make a tight shell.
We've talked a lot about the green features of this house, the site, but what about the nitty-gritty, the stuff that people really want to hear about related to what's the floor plan like, etc.?
Well, the floor plan is with a traditional entry. You come into an entry, and it kind of is you go right into an open floor plan where the living room, dining room, and kitchen are all kind of combined together. And we've got a main floor master towards the rear of the house with a walk-in closet. And then upstairs there's 2 bedrooms and a den. And downstairs it's a full basement that could be finished later on for a rec room, and there's egress windows to accommodate possibly 2 more bedrooms.
Great. And I think I noticed earlier when we were here that it looks like it's almost like a garden level, so you have quite a bit of natural light in the lower level. Is that true?
There's plenty of light. In fact, what we do is we've got a technique we use with splayed window wells, where the window wells kind of come out a little bit, so it lets in as much light as possible. Especially on the south side of the house, we were able to get some good south light coming inside the rec room, so it doesn't feel basementy. And with the ICF foundations, it'll feel very warm, unlike traditional basements.
That's great. So you told me earlier that you are building this house kind of as a shell that people can then kind of finish out and take control of how the design evolves.
Right, the idea to this is we designed a house to fit well into Old Town, and we'll just take it through what we call the shell stage. And that way the outside will be pretty much finished, and the inside will be framed up, and so any buyer that comes in will have the opportunity to have selections of colors, maybe a little tweaking of any of the walls or anything at all. And they'll be able to finish the house to fit their kind of desires and tastes.
So we're here back in the alley, and this gives people a pretty good idea of what the house looks like from the back and the yard. Tell us a little bit about the benefits of having this alley access.
Well, the alley access is traditional in Old Town. Is where you could put a garage and have access to the house that way, so you don't have that garage in the front of the house. And we've got an extra deep lot. In this case, it's 175 feet deep, so the garage could be placed back here, and there's plenty of room for a yard. And we've also got a water irrigation well, an old irrigation well for landscaping too. But there's plenty of room for outdoor space for entertaining, and also for gardening, and just for anything else. Also in this yard we've got an old spruce tree that is kind of nice to have in terms of new construction. Gives a little bit of shading and a little flavor on the back of the lot. The back of the house will have a deck with a pergola that'll lead out to a patio, and then back to the garage.
So here we are down the street on Park Street, and as you can see, almost everybody here is doing something to make these turn of the century to mid-century homes shine. There are also a number of other new construction projects and infill projects going on in this neighborhood. Here's another new home just down the block. Lee Martinez Park is just a couple of blocks away. From Martinez Park, you can pick up the Poudre River Trail, which connects up to an amazing system of trails all throughout the city of Fort Collins where you can run, bike, or walk. And up the river just out of town, the Poudre is known for being one of the best for kayaking or rafting. Now let's take the Poudre Trail into the heart of Old Town. Old Town is filled with coffee shops, restaurants, museums, galleries, and great shopping. I think it's time to stop into the Crown Pub for a local beer. We're in the D shop. Cheers.